Hey, directors. I just want to take a few minutes and chat with you about something that is on my heart as we come to the end of 2022. I just want to say, implementing your positions over the last year or two has been a huge benefit to me. And I believe that it has been incredibly crucial for the growth and the health of our church. Each one of you are doing a fantastic job. And I just want to come alongside of you and help you to continue to get better and to be able to grow, not only in your influence, but also in each of your areas of responsibility and oversight. One of the things that I believe will help us to do that well is to remember that we are not only charged with getting things done, but we are also responsible for helping the people that are underneath our influence, underneath our leadership, to be healthy and to make sure that they are growing and to really be their cheerleaders and their coaches and their support as well. This is how we exemplify servant leadership. And I know you guys are already awesome at that. But again, this is just something that I want to share with you as we go into the last part of this year. So in December, I would like for each of you to sit down with the coordinators that are underneath your area of responsibility. So for Brittany, as our volunteer director, that's going to be the check-in coordinator, security director, hospitality, ushers. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting one or not. For Sarah, that's going to be connect groups and growth track and prayer and freedom. Anita, that's going to be uh, the nursery and preschool and the clubhouse. Um, for Luis, I would really encourage you to sit down with your YGGs or any youth staff, any regular youth staff that you have coming downstairs. Any other directors, forgive me, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody right now. Brian with the worship team, that's going to be Amy at the sound booth. That's going to be Sean overseeing a lot of the stuff going on behind the scenes. So all of us have different people that we're going to be able to sit down and have a conversation with. And I'm taking the questions I'm going to share with you from a podcast that I listened to recently from Craig Rochelle. He offers amazing leadership insights. And as I was listening along, I thought, man, this is something that I think would be really healthy for us to share with our team. As I go through these questions, I want to prepare you because in the month of December, when we have our staff meeting, I plan to ask you these questions as well. So as you listen through this the first time, I want to encourage you to begin to make mental notes and maybe put a little spot in your phone, a little note in your phone for you to write down your immediate thoughts about yourself. But then I want to encourage you also to write down these questions and prepare yourself to walk through with each of your coordinators these different questions in the month of December. You're going to have several weeks to do that. I wouldn't try to shove it all into one week. I would spread it out over those 4 weeks. But during the month of December, I really want to challenge you to have really good conversations with your leaders around these questions. Because as directors, we are shepherds. And as shepherds, we want to take good care of the coordinators underneath us. So let's get into the first question. Question number one: what do you love most about what you do? Now, I know that this is a bit of an open-ended question, but man, I think it's a great way just to start off the conversation. And so this is a question that I would like to pose to you as my directors. What's your favorite part of being the director over kids or youth or spiritual growth and development or volunteers or the worship team? What is it about being in your role that really excites you, that makes you want to do it? What is motivating you to do your best work? Um, the second question that we want to cover: what is the most frustrating part of your role? Now, we need to be really willing to hear at this point when we ask this question, because you might be surprised at some of the answers that you get. It you may think that you know what they're going to say, and they may come at you and say something that was completely unexpected. I want to give you the freedom to answer this question also. And you know what? I really want to hear what are the things going on in your directing that you're just frustrated about? What makes you not want to do your job? What gets into your head? What situations, scenarios, ongoing problems keep arising, and that they just make you think, it'd just be easier if I wasn't doing this. My life might be better if I didn't have this headache or this constant struggle. So would you please be willing to share with me when we meet about what's frustrating you? Third question, what can I do to support you better? That's something that means a lot to me. I get requests sometimes from different staff members and different directors about things that they're needing. I want to be able to respond to those as quickly as I can. But at the same time, it's not always physical support people need. Sometimes people need spiritual support. They need us to be praying for them, to following up with them, asking them how they're doing, checking on their marriages, finding out how their kids are doing, finding out, how their health is. Are they reading their Bibles? Are they praying? There's so many ways for us to be supporting our team members. However, we also want to give them opportunity to tell us what they need from us. So I ask you, how can I do a better job of supporting you in your role? What could I do better that at the end of the day, you feel like, man, I know Tanner has my back 100%. Question number 4. If you could change one thing about your area, what would it be? Now, this can be a dream. This can be vision casting. This can be a response to a frustration. This can really be anything. But most of the time, people know one thing that they would love to see different about the area that they're overseeing. So give them a chance to answer that question. And again, it might surprise you what they come up with. But I want you to answer this too. What is a big one thing for you that you think, man, if I could get this done, if I could change this aspect in 2023, I would feel like I had a huge win. I want to hear that from you. Question number 5. What do you feel that you have more of to offer? Do you feel underutilized? Do you feel like we are not taking full advantage of all of your strengths, your various gifts? Do you maybe feel like you've been pigeonholed or you've been stuck into a box, and man, everything inside of you is screaming for an opportunity to show more of what you're capable of, more of what you can offer? Well, give them that chance, because they might surprise you. They might, again, I know I keep using that word, but maybe they're in their role, but they're aspiring to something different. Maybe they would like more responsibility. Maybe they would like to be able to offer more of their time and their talents and their energies to serve the kingdom of heaven. Give your people an opportunity to share that with you. Or maybe they're going to come back and say, I feel like I'm giving too much. I feel like I've taken on too much. Well, then we can have that conversation too. But I want to ask you that question. Do you feel like you have more to offer than you're currently being allowed to do? You know, I can miss it sometimes. I tend to side on not asking too much. And sometimes that can be a deficit. Sometimes that can be a problem. I never want to burn you out. I never want to wear you out, but I also want to stretch you. I want to challenge you to get outside of your comfort zone. And I want to see you become all that God has you to be. Maybe you want to do more speaking. Maybe you want to take on a bigger role of leadership. Maybe you would like to have opportunity to, you know, lead a different ministry, or God just put a idea for an outreach in your heart. I don't know, but do you feel like you have more to offer? And if you do, I want to know what that is. And then question number 6, what else is on your mind? Maybe they have something that's rattling around in their brain that doesn't even have anything to do with their area of oversight, but it's just something that they've been thinking about. Maybe they have a concern about something that's going on in the church. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe they're unhappy with something going on in their personal life. Oftentimes the things that we bring into the church from outside are going to be the biggest obstacles to us doing the best job that we can. So just ask them, what else do you have going on inside your mind? And I want to ask you that too. What are you thinking about right now? What are the types of things that are occupying the space inside your brain? What do you think about most often? What are you happy about? What are you sad about? Excited or angry? Whatever it might be. I want to hear from you what you are thinking, especially when it comes to the church. I'm open to hearing outside the church thoughts too, but I would just love to know what comes to your mind when you think about our church family. Suzanne Tanner once said to me what I consider to be one of the greatest compliments I've ever received. She told me a few years ago that I have the smell of the sheep on me. I don't want to lose that. I want to maintain close contact to the people in my church. And even though that's beginning to shift in its emphasis, I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job of having that regular contact. I want to smell like sheep. Now, that doesn't always mean it's going to smell good, but what my sheep are around and they're stepping in, I need to make sure that I'm around that too, so that I can keep an eye on them. But not only that, be able to relate to what they're going through. And I challenge you to do the same thing. You should have the smell of your sheep on you. You should be rubbing up against them regularly, knowing what's going on in their lives, knowing what's going on in their ministries. How do you do that well? Well, first of all, just by making time to listen. Now, I know that as directors, most of you are only putting in 5 hours a week. So that's not a whole lot of time. But maybe just in your time management, as you're thinking through what you're going to be doing over the next weeks, think through, and plan. All right, I need to be having an hour. I need to make an hour each week to spend with one of my coordinators. And maybe it takes you 5 or 6 weeks to filter through them to start back over again. That's great. I would say you need to be having a good heart to heart at least once a month. It shouldn't just all be vision casting or accountability or figuring out what's coming up next, but it should also just be finding out what's going on inside of them. Again, you want to meet needs quickly. And if you can't give them a yes or no because maybe it's an expenditure that you haven't verified yet, well, then create a plan. Let them know, hey, I'm going to look into that, and then do it quickly and get back to them as soon as you are able. Don't just leave things open-ended. And that goes for them as well. We need to do a better job of, as we're talking about things, creating deadlines, providing reminders, but also holding them accountable. That's not it's not an act of anger or frustration. We want to hold our leaders accountable because we want to help them to do better. Now, we have to do this with a good attitude, right? And so one of the things that I do want to share is when one of your leaders comes to you, one of your coordinators, and they share a concern, guys, that is an awesome opportunity for us to show them support, love, and concern. And we have to guard our own attitudes in the way that we do that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to give you specifics, but I've had a couple of coordinators come to me about a couple of you and share, that when they said something, they felt a little bit dismissed, or maybe they just felt a little bit talked down to. Sometimes we can go into business mode and we can just be in this mode of, well, you know what? How are we going to fix this? Like, what needs to happen? What needs to change? Well, if they're coming to you, it's because they don't know. If they're coming to you, they don't have an idea. And so they need for you to take some time to brainstorm with them. And if maybe you're just not in the right headspace for that in the moment, they need to know that you're going to be thinking about it over the next day or two so that you can get back to them. They need your help. And the reason that you're in these director roles is because you have shown that you have what it takes to offer advice and encouragement and to be part of finding solutions. I don't expect for you to have all the answers, but I do expect as directors for you to be able to be servant leaders with good attitudes and make people feel heard and important so that they don't walk away frustrated from their encounter with you or feel beat up or stupid, but that they know that their questions are valid and important. And then finally, this is probably the biggest: celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Man, take advantage of those wins. And when you have a win, make sure and celebrate it not only with them, but in front of other people. Get a couple of your other coordinators together and maybe in a group thread or a group text. Like I try to do this on a regular basis where I celebrate the good things people are doing in front of others because people really want to know that the work that they're doing has meaning, that the work that they're doing is accomplishing something. It's not about the recognition, it's about knowing that what they're doing truly matters. Guys, each one of you are doing a fantastic job, but we can always do better. So I encourage you during the month of December, and I'm going to hold you accountable for this, that you take time with each of your coordinators and you go through these 6 questions and you love them and you encourage them and you do everything you can to make sure that they're doing everything they can do at the best level possible. Hey, I love you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. And I hope and pray that as we go through this month, that you're going to be able to share with me your answers to these questions, and that we are going to be able to truly help our church to move forward and to get better. Bless you guys.